A warning before we begin. This is a chilling story. What you are about to hear may be deeply unsettling.
Mom, why does the wind sound so strange tonight? The boy asked, pulling the blanket up to his chin. His mother smiled softly, brushing a strand of hair from his forehead. It's just the autumn wind, sweetheart. It whistles through the trees and the cracks in the windows. There's nothing to be afraid of. The boy nodded, but his eyes wandered to the window where the moon cast its cold light across the room. "Good night, Mom," he said at last, squeezing his eyes shut as she turned off the lamp and closed the door. It became silent. Only the wind could be heard, its whisper filling the room with an unsettling presence he couldn't explain. He lay in bed, trying to fall asleep, when a rasping sound pierced the quiet. He woke with a start, his heart pounding faster as he strained to listen in the oppressive silence. It felt as though the very air was holding its breath. Suddenly, he thought he heard a whisper, faint and distant, almost like the wind slipping through a crack. He lay still for a moment, trying to convince himself it was just his imagination, and closed his eyes again. But the sound came back. The rasping noise was clearer now. The boy sat up in bed, his breathing shallow as he focused his ears on the foreign sound. Once again, he heard the whisper, this time closer. He followed the sound with his gaze, step by step. The more he focused on the source, the clearer the whispers became. It sounded like a voice, muted, but with an eerie clarity. The voice mumbled something monotonous, almost like a chant, until the words became unmistakably clear. "The blood is dripping. The blood is dripping." The boy froze. His heart pounded so hard in his chest that it nearly drowned out every other sound. A gnawing sense of dread urged him to get out of bed. When his bare feet touched the floor, he felt something warm and sticky beneath him. The sharp smell of iron stung his nose. It felt as if each heartbeat echoed through his body, as though his heart itself was warning him to stop. The whispers ceased. The silence was so heavy now that he could hear his own heartbeat drumming in his ears. He took a step back, away from the dark stain on the floor. Panic swelled in his chest. Without thinking, he turned toward the door to flee. But in his haste to run, he slipped in the sticky, warm puddle. His feet skidded out from under him, and he fell hard to the floor. Pain shot through his knee, but he quickly tried to get up. The floor was smeared with blood in dark streaks, as if something, or someone, had been dragged across it. His eyes drifted toward the bed, and that's when he saw it. Under the bed. A pair of eyes. The stare was fixed on him. The boy froze. The man's face was pale and sunken, as though it had never seen daylight. A grotesque smile stretched across his lips, and in a hoarse, almost whispering voice, he said, "The blood is dripping." The boy tried to scream, but no sound came out. He backed away, but the man was faster. Before he could get up, the man's hand shot out and grabbed his ankle. The fingers were as cold as death itself. "Let me go!" the boy screamed, struggling to break free. But the man pulled him closer, dragging him toward the bed. His face drew nearer to the boy's, moving slowly, terrifyingly. Just as the boy thought all hope was lost, the silence was shattered by a loud crash. The door burst open and 2 police officers stormed into the room. "Police, let the boy go!" one of them shouted, shining a flashlight at the man. The man slowly turned his head toward the beam of light, staring at the officers with his cold, empty eyes. Before they could act, the man disappeared, vanishing quickly under the bed. The officers rushed to the boy, lifted him off the floor, and pulled him away from the bloodied carpet. As they carried the boy out of the room, one of the officers said, Check under the bed now." One of them crouched down with a flashlight and peered underneath. What he saw made him recoil, his hand flying to cover his mouth. "Oh my God," he whispered. There lay the boy's mother. Her face was frozen in a lifeless stare, a deep gash running across her throat. Blood dripped slowly from her body, pooling onto the floor. Then, past her, the officer noticed something else. The cover to a ventilation shaft had been removed. The screws lay scattered on the floor. The man was gone. The senior officer swallowed hard. It turned out the neighbor had made the call. They had seen a shattered window and a ladder propped against the house. "This has happened before," the officer said grimly. "In this very house. The same story. A man hiding under the bed, a ladder at the window, and a body left behind. We've never been able to catch him."